raise them. They don't know where we done came from. On my mama, they can't harm us. Got my arms up, but we covered in that armor. And we done made it. Y'all ain't hear me, but we made it. I ain't earned it, but I take it. Got that light inside of me that you don't need no eyes to see. And you can feel it, you can hear it when I say, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah.
This is unfailing love.
Yeah, yeah.
That you would take my place.
Oh, yeah. Take my place, take my place.
That you would bear my cross.
Bear my cross, bear my cross.
You laid down your life.
You lay down.
That I would be set free.
Set free, set free, set free.
Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me.
The Bible, its 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 26 through 28.
In the beginning, God took nothing and made everything. From darkness, God called out light.
God poured out waters and stretched the sky far overhead like an unpainted canvas. He shaped dry land and canyons and great mountain ranges, and then decked them out with trees and vines and plants of every kind. God spun the moon and sun and stars and planets out into space, and then He filled the oceans with fish and the sky with birds. God thought up an amazing variety of animals to crawl and hop and race over the earth.
All of this was incredible, unbelievable, the most artistic show of power ever. God made complex atoms and cells smaller than the eye can see, all the way up to vast spaces stretching across the universe farther than we can imagine. And yet, all of this was just a warm-up to God's most spectacular creation: people. People. It's true. We're made of the same atoms and cells and elements as rocks and plants and animals. But unlike anything else in God's creation, we are made in God's image. Then God said,
"Let us make human beings so that they are like us. Let them rule over the fish in the seas and the birds in the sky. Let them rule over the livestock and all the wild animals. And let them rule over all the creatures that move along the ground."
So God created human beings in His own likeness. He created them to be like Himself. He created them as male and female. You are made in God's image. Now, that does not mean God shares your eye color, or your freckles, or even your quirky smile. But it does mean that you were designed for God to shine through you. You were made to show the world God's love, God's grace and mercy, God's joy, God's peace, God's kindness, God's wisdom. You and every person you'll ever meet are of infinite value because you're made in the image of God. And here's what's even more amazing. God didn't design us to turn into a bunch of little robots who look and act the same when we follow Him. Instead, the more time you spend with God, asking Him to transform your thoughts and words and choices, the more you become uniquely you. As you follow Jesus and reflect God's light more clearly, you'll be able to do the things that God has designed for you and no one else. So, next time you look in the mirror, remember, you're looking at the image of God, and no one in this world can reflect Him just the way you do.
perfect, you don't make mistakes. I am loved by you the way I'm made. You are perfect, you don't make mistakes. I am loved by you the way I'm made. You made me on purpose, and I am not broken. You remind me of the truth that you have spoken over me. I am yours, I'm enough, I am loved deeper than the sea. You make me to be gloriously free. You made my heart, made my mind, made me bright so I could shine. And I just wanna say that I'm amazed. All the things that make me me, make you smile, and I can see that. God, your love for me, your love for me. You are perfect, you don't make mistakes. I am loved by you the way I'm made. You are perfect, you don't make mistakes. I am loved by you the way I'm made. You made me on purpose, and I am not broken. You remind me of the truth that you have spoken over me. I am yours, I'm enough, that I am loved deeper than